Now on BBC News, the capital in the sea, exploring Indonesia's plans to move its capital from the climate-threatened megalopolis of Jakarta to the once jungle-covered island of Borneo, 800 miles away.
Jakarta is the world's fastest sinking city.
If we do nothing, that by 2050, the 95% of the coastal area of Jakarta will be below the sea.
The Indonesian capital is subsiding and the Java Sea is rising.
This was built in an attempt to hold back the tide, a giant seawall that goes for hundreds of meters. But what's on the other side has become an iconic image of a city that's living on borrowed time. Whew. This mosque went under years ago, and the predictions for this area are bleak.
Faced with this future, the government is vowing to build a new capital on the jungle-covered island of Borneo. They're promising to build a world-class, sustainable city. But what will it mean for the people who live in this unique environment?
Kami kecewa, sedih, dan sangat tidak menyetujui hal itu. Kami takut hutan kami menjadi gedung-gedung yang tinggi. Mata pencaharian kami, perekonomian kami hilang.
Annual floods plague Jakarta, the city I've called home for more than 10 years. They're getting worse with climate change. This January, the heaviest rains in decades caused widespread flooding. But Jakarta is also a victim of its own policies, an example of urbanisation gone horribly wrong. Most people in this megacity rely on groundwater. So much is being pumped out that the land surface is sinking, and so too the buildings and houses above it.
So we're below sea level now, aren't we?
Yes, it's already 2 meters below the sea level now. Yeah.
And what happened a couple of years ago here?
Yeah, so this is the original dike, yeah. So in 2007, the seawater is overtopping this old dike. And then the government increased it for about 1 meter. And in 2017, the seawater is again overtopping this dike.
The water rushing over at great speed, flooding homes here. In response, the wall was made higher. But not long after we visited, it collapsed. Irma lives meters away from the dike.
Kita kena banjir terus, apalagi kalau air lagi naik kan, jadi airnya ngeluap ke bawah gitu.
Sering?
Sering, setahun sekali pasti terjadi. Walaupun sekarang kan tanggul sudah ditinggikan, walaupun sedikit kita tetap waspada banjir juga.
And people here have had to take extraordinary steps to try and stop their houses from sinking.
Ya Bu, boleh masuk?
Boleh masuk, silakan masuk.
Ini tanahnya dinaikin ya Bu?
Iya, dinaikin 4 mobil. Batu-batu kasar dulu, baru di semen, terus baru di tehel.
Jadi menjadi lebih dekat dengan dinding. So they're having to put on cement and rocks in order to build the house up as it sinks down. So the floor is getting closer and closer to the roof.
Hidupnya di sini, mau tinggal di mana? Dulu juga namanya orang susah.
Nggak ada pilihan untuk pindah ya?
But the government does. With Jakarta sinking, the president wants to move the capital to a new site 1,000 kilometres away to the island of Borneo. Nearly 200,000 hectares of land has been designated. The estimate cost, $33 billion, and the deadline within just 5 years. The fastest way to get to the remote site here in Borneo is by boat.
We're on an official site visit. Government ministers have flown in from Jakarta to visit the site of where they plan to build this brand new capital, and we're following them.
First stop is to survey a bridge that will provide key access to the area. Officials making promises that the mistakes of the past will not be repeated here. But there's no time for questions. We're told to get back on the boat.
The whole tour is very disorganised and confusing, with many of the bureaucrats saying here that it's because, like the new capital, everything's changing at the last minute, and there are real questions about if the government can really pull off such a mammoth task of moving the capital.
We travel for a few more hours through thick jungle on a bumpy dirt road, and arrive at a vast plantation, oil palm for as far as the eye can see. It's here we get a chance to speak with the minister, an economist, and the man the president asked to start this mammoth task.
If you look at that area will be the center of the government activities. All the palace, offices, parliament will be located in that area. So in that area, although there will be many buildings for sure, but the buildings will be blended with the trees, creating the environment that you are not really in the big city, but you are in the forest, but with some urban activities. Plus, we will have electricity coming from renewable.
When I looked into the details of the renewable energy, the majority of that is coming from biofuels, which is palm oil.
No.
Most people would say is not a green energy.
No. For us, it's green energy. We have different opinion because it's still green. I mean, you cannot say that palm oil is not green. It's renewable. You can plant anytime.
But it's caused immense deforestation.
I think we have different opinion.
Indonesia is the world's largest producer of palm oil that's found in nearly every household item, from bread to chocolate to shampoo. Over the last 50 years, tens of millions of hectares of forest across Borneo has been cleared, often to make way for pulp and paper and oil palm plantations, and also for open-pit coal mines.
We've come to one of the biggest mining concessions inside the area that's been designated for the new capital. We're told that we can't go in. The mine doesn't like scrutiny, so we're going to send up the drone to get a sense of the scale of the mining that's taking place here. This mining concession is owned by one of the government ministers who's in power at the moment in President Joko Widodo's government. It's mines like this that has made Indonesia amongst the world's top exporters of coal.
The area where the new administrative capital was set is ground zero for Indonesia's coal boom. The wealth gained mostly went back to Jakarta. The communities here have seen little benefit. And now illegally abandoned mines like this one, a short drive away, are scattered across the province. Death traps for children. Kadi takes me to where his 10-year-old granddaughter Natasha drowned.
Ya ini terus. Ini kemarin masih hutan, rumput.
Dulu hutan?
Iya, hutan dulu ini. Ya di sini nih. Di situ itu tinggalnya. Pas cucu saya ada angkat dari sini kan.
She fell in and couldn't swim. One of 36 people, most of them children, who've died in abandoned mining pits in the last few years.
Yang ini waktu dia pawai juga, waktu pakai baju angkatan laut.
Kayaknya bangga ini kali ini ya. Mirip ibu juga ya.
Iya. Nggak buang saya sama sekali dia mukanya.
Her family had been demanding in vain for the mining companies to obey the law and clean up the ravaged landscape.
Saya percaya sudah lihat anak itu, tapi kok bisanya anak itu tenggelam itu nah.
Jadi kaget juga ya?
Iya, kaget banget Bu memang itu. Ya harapan saya ya mudahan dia kalau masih hidup itu ya bisa berbakti sama orang tuanya. Ngejar cita-citanya dia yang dia inginkan. Dia kan cita-citanya udah di dokter, Bu. Iya. Jadi dokter dia kalau besar cita-citanya.
Their family moved here in the 1970s as part of a huge government-sponsored transmigration program to get people out of overcrowded Java to sparsely populated areas like Kalimantan.
Tapi ya banyak kan tidak betah sama pulang, karena di sini susah diantam babi, monyet, segala macam itu.
Now they're going to make this area the new capital of Indonesia in your area. How do you feel about that?
Mendukungnya supaya maju dan lagi bisa rame, gitu loh. Nggak ada masalah komplain gini-gini, nggak ada. Yang jelas itu rame, kalau ibu kota di sini kan rame, semakin rame. Tata usaha mungkin juga akan meningkat, ekonomi semakin meningkat.
This is what their new capital on their doorstep could look like. This, the winning urban design, selected through a government-run competition. The team's vision is of a compact capital city, inspired and respectful of its rainforest environment.
We will not encroach to the protected forests. In fact, we will try to increase the area of the natural forest. We have a very good opportunity to start from scratch, where we have all the model of the city that is compact, that is walkable, that is based on mass transit or public transport, where we use all the best practices possible. So this is the target that we set, that we hope that we can contribute to the world by creating a model city.
It's a world away from the communities now living in the area. The indigenous people of Sepaku have witnessed the rapid destruction of their forests, an intricate part of their way of life destroyed, and they're fearful that things for them will get worse.
Karena kami hanya hidup dari hutan, orang-orang pribumi khususnya. Takut budaya kami dan bahasa kami hilang jika telah menjadi ibu kota Sepaku ini.
Are you not optimistic or hopeful that perhaps with access to universities, to better schools that may come with the new capital, that there could be a brighter future for your generation or those to come?
Ya, memang benar. Itu pasti akan ada universitas, semua fasilitas akan mudah, akses jalan pun mudah. Tetapi kami, orang pribumi, hidupnya sudah terbiasa di hutan. Selalu mencari pengobatan tradisional itu di hutan. Kami pun hidup dengan terbiasa berkebun. Mayoritas orang pribumi itu dia tidak bisa bersaing dengan orang-orang yang ada di luar seperti di ibu kota.
They're vulnerable to land grabbing because despite living for generations here, many families don't have certificates. It's only been in recent years that traditional land ownership has been recognised under Indonesian law, and on the ground, it's rarely enforced.
Jauh sebelum ada rencana ibu kota, masyarakat adat sudah banyak berkonflik dengan perusahaan yang punya konsesi. Nah, sekarang muncul negara membawa kabar ibu kota, mengatakan itu adalah milik negara. Itu akan menjadi beban yang baru buat masyarakat. Yang kemarin mereka melawan perusahaan, sekarang mereka melawan perusahaan dan negara. Karena akan lebih mudah mereka dirampas, diambil tanahnya. Bagaimana nasib generasi ini ke depan? bagaimana nasib kampung ini ke depan. Yang katanya Kalimantan sebagai paru-paru dunia itu seperti apa.
Back on the official tour, I put these concerns to the minister.
We will take care the issues of indigenous, the local people, because we know that in the past they might not have proper certificate to live in, but now with the strong government support, we are now trying to so-called legalize the certification. So we will basically revitalize the conserved forest, and we will revitalize former coal mining.
The government has failed to do that up until now, and children have been drowning in those.
Yeah, that's why we have to take care of this, and the reason by including that area into the new capital will help to, first to enforce the regulation, and secondly to do the rehabilitation.
A new city here will attract people and businesses to the area. The price of land has already dramatically increased, and this will put pressure on the unique, fragile environment here.
Heading into the jungle, this is one of the last patches of forest in East Kalimantan that falls within the area of the new capital. Ini kuat ya?
The government is vowing to protect this forest, known as Bukit Sahato, but local environmentalists like my guide, Dede Irawan, are worried.
It's really beautiful forest, thick forest.
Di sini tempat berbagai macam binatang, hewan, flora, fauna. Cari makan di sini, tempat tinggal di sini, dan mereka hidup di sini. Kalau ini dialihfungsikan dengan adanya ibu kota maupun dialihfungsikan dengan hutan produksi, flora fauna mau tinggal di mana lagi selain dari sini.
But the government is insisting that it will protect existing forests, and they're even saying that they're going to restore areas to make this really a forest city.
Belum direalisasikan, akan tuh bisa menjadi mereka bohong, mendustai, atau mereka memang iya. Belum ada bukti nyata bahwa mereka akan melestarikan. Kita patut waspadai apabila mereka akan.
These forests are home to orangutans, now critically endangered. Here at a sanctuary not far from where the new capital could sit, humans are having to look after orphan baby orangutans, teaching them vital survival skills.
In the wild, they would have stayed with their mothers for around 6 to 8 years, learning these kind of skills. But here, they're having to learn them from humans in the hope that they will be able to be released back into the wild.
Memerlukan peran ibu seperti itu. Jadi tugas kami memberikan susu, mengajarkannya untuk makan, memilih makanan, mencari makanan. Kalau memang sudah dewasa bisa memanjat pohon, kita ajarkan untuk memanjat pohon. Dan kalau ini lagi memang bisa buat kita ajarkan untuk buat sarang.
But even with these skills, it's getting harder to find forests to release them back into. 30 years ago, this area had been reduced to grassland, but the foundation managed to reforest nearly 2,000 hectares, a precious home for orangutans and other endangered wildlife. But it's jungle they're constantly having to fight to protect.
Illegal logging, fire or encroachment is still an issue here. Why? Because people surrounding this area thought they have a thing in their mind, forest is a wasteland. Why you keep the forest and I need the land?
One of their greatest threats is fire. Despite being illegal, it's the fastest way to clear land. The worst burning season in decades was in 2015. Across Borneo that year, 2 million hectares was burnt. releasing the same amount of carbon emissions in a few months as the US did in a year. Despite promises it would never happen again, last dry season the fires returned, sending a toxic haze through the forests and across the region once again. Jamartin holds out hope that if the country's most powerful are also forced to breathe in the toxic air and see the deforestation firsthand, then things might change.
There is no forest for the orangutan. They know it, right? They see it in their face directly. They don't have to go to Jakarta to explain it. Just invite them to see that.
Do you think it's going to be a forest city?
It should be.
But do you think they will build like that?
They have to. They have to. If they try to make it like in Jakarta, they're doing the wrong things again.
Back in the village of Sepaku, the community is bracing themselves for what might come.
Itu menjadi tugas kami para orang-orang adat untuk mempersiapkan diri kepada anak-anak kami. Dengan tetap melestarikan budaya, bahasa, adat istiadat kami, tetap akan kami jaga. Dan kami berharap tidak ada yang mengganggu, mengambil hak kami.
Jadi siap berjuang ya?
Ya, anak-anak muda adat hari ini memang harus mempersiapkan diri untuk terus berjuang. Karena gelombang perubahan itu tidak bisa kita hindari. Cuma akar budaya kita harus tetap dilestarikan.
The government is vowing that the new city will offer them a brighter future. A world-class sustainable city on their doorstep.
We will build the city in a much more modern, nice way, even more modern than Jakarta. We will have electric vehicle, we have public transportation, everything, basic infrastructure, basic services that currently is not really available in other cities in Indonesia.
While Jakarta will remain home to tens of millions of people who will still live in a rapidly sinking city, including this community amongst the most threatened by flooding.
Kalau saya sih maunya kalau bisa mah Jakarta tuh dibetulin aja, jangan sampai pindah begitu. Lebih baik di sini Jakarta diperbaikin lah, ditindak biar tidak jadi banjir lagi gitu. Diperbaikin pokoknya.
The promise is that the mistakes of the past will not be repeated in Borneo. But can that dream be realised, and at what cost to one of the most biodiverse places on Earth?